Hey guys, Sen here, backing out some more capital raids, and today I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks on how you can deal with the most annoying base in the clan capital, which is the Dragon Cliffs. During our raid weekends, this base is almost always the last to go before we unlock the capital peak because no one wants to attack it in my clans. So it always ends up like a hot potato game where who has to be the one who attacks Dragon Cliffs so they can attack the capital peak. And the reason for that is this base is the only base that has these annoying defensive super dragons. Now, these things have a ton of HP, a lot of damage, but most importantly, that roast ability gives it a lot of splash damage, which means it just burns down the entire world. Now, there's also only a couple troops in the entire clan capital that can hit these super dragons. One of them is the minions. If you're using minions, then be prepared to spend all of your attacks trying to take down one super dragon in one Dragon Cliffs. There's super wizards. Super wizards have a really hard time hitting air units, so I wouldn't use those either. Now, the two units that I would say are pretty viable in taking out super dragons are other super dragons. They do pretty good job at taking out super dragons when they're under rage and you have a bunch of them spread out so that they don't get splashed on. The problem with using super dragons is that all of the other defenses on Dragon Cliffs are so good against super dragons. There's the Inferno Towers, there's the Blast Bow, there's all of the air defenses, air bombs, as well as this base also has zap traps, which will wreck your super dragons. So I don't recommend super dragons either. There's literally only one troop that does good against super dragons when you're trying to kill them, and that is archers under rage. And that's also another reason why I hate this base, because it basically forces you to use raged archers as an opener once you reach Capital Hall level 8 and you unlock that second rage, as well as when you unlock another level on the district hall of Dragon Cliffs and you get another super dragon post. Because once you reach 4 super dragon posts, you basically can't avoid killing them. Before Capital Hall level 8, when you're level 7 and below, what you can do is you can just completely avoid killing them and just use rocket balloons, because the super dragons themselves, they don't count towards building destruction. You just have to kill their super dragon posts. And so you can just work your way around the base with rocket balloons and just kill these super dragon posts in the end that actually don't have much HP and avoid killing them altogether. I'll probably do a separate video on that because I don't currently have a clan that's Capital Hall level 7 or below right now. We only have a Capital Hall level 8 and level 9, so I would have to find one to do a video on that. But in general, you have to be using sneaky archers with rage to take these things out, and I'll be showing you some tips and tricks on how you can use those archers most effectively. Alright, so when you're attacking Dragon Cliffs with sneaky archers and rages, you have to first plan out where you want to be spending your rages, and that's going to be in areas where there's a lot of HP that you want to work through. So these Inferno Towers, Blast Bows, as well as these two defensive super dragons have a lot of HP. And there's also a lot of other defenses that archers under rage could really benefit by sniping through and going through faster. So I want to draw my 2 rages around these 2 compartments over here. And now, in order to get to those 2 compartments, I decide that I'll just take out this super dragon over here without a rage. Now, the thing with the super dragons and trying to take them out with archers, the super dragons are going to fly around when your archers are under stealth because they won't know the archers are there, so they just keep flying around the super dragon post, and your archers are going to be chasing them around and having a really hard time shooting them down. The way you deal with that is first you want to take out the super dragon post if you can. When that is taken out, the super dragon stops moving around. It can go around the base, basically anywhere around the base to attack, but it can't see the archer, so it'll just stay there. And so you'll notice it just stays in place. And notice I dropped 3 camps of archers after knowing that there's no traps there. And then I drop a ram after the archers get a couple shots and they're about to lose their stealth ability, to keep the archers from getting hit by the super dragons. So that's a big tip that I have learned. Is a lot of people tell you that you can only use one camp of archers at a time, but I disagree. When you're up against a really high hit point HP building or troop like the super dragon, as long as you know that there's no splash traps like the bombs, like the log traps, giant bombs, where you're dropping them because you've probed the area already, you can drop more of them at once so that you can burst down the super dragon so that more of your archers will survive after they lose their stealth ability. So you saw I had 3 camps of archers still alive, even without their stealth ability. They had a little bit of tanking with the barbarians, and so they were able to take down quite a few defenses afterwards. So that's a tip I've learned with archers. You don't always have to drop them in one at a time. It also makes the raid go faster because this attack, it's really slow and it can run into a lot of time issues. So now we're just working into the base with our archers. One by one, we want to take out this super dragon post. I actually timed those last archers, if you'll notice, to take out the air defense and then take out the super dragon. I timed it so that the super dragon would be behind the post, and so the archers would go for the post and not the super dragon. You can rewind that again if you want, but as you can see, I now drop another 3 camps of archers on this super dragon. 2 is enough, but I use 3 so that I can burst through the Inferno Tower afterwards, because there won't be any splash in the area after the super dragon is down. That's another thing. You have to consider where there's a splash when you're thinking about dropping more than 1 camp of archers. So now we're just working through the base again. We'll wait for the super dragon to go back and behind the super dragon post before we drop another camp of archers to finish off the air defense and go for the post once again. And at this point, I know there's no traps. There's not even spaces for traps, but I've already probed the area, so we drop 2 camps of archers, take out the super dragon. Unfortunately, not all the archers went after the super dragon, so they didn't kill it in time. But yeah, we were still able to kill a lot of the base, and there's only 1 super dragon post left on the base. Now, at this point, I plan to use minions to go through these ground targeting defenses, but unfortunately I forgot that there was trash buildings here, and so they only take out these 2 ground targeting defenses. Now, once again, we're using Super Archer Rage. It's like the only viable strategy against this base, unfortunately, and I hate it too, but we'll do what we have to. So we'll work into the space once again. We'll use 1 rage over here, and the last rage up here on this last super dragon. You always want to think about where the damage is on the base, or where the high hit point HP buildings are on the base, and have your rages so you can get through those more efficiently. So just working our way through at this point. Drop your rams where you need them. The nice thing about rams is that they spawn barbarians, and those barbarians can do damage as well as probe for traps. And I also brought 2 hog riders. You saw, I noticed there wasn't a lot of damage in the base, and they could get a lot of value. They killed like 5 or 6 defenses. When Dragon Cliffs are spread out like this, and bases have their defenses spread out, you'll notice that hog riders can actually get a lot of value against them. And at this point, we're just finishing off the last buildings. This actually comes really close on time, because once again, archers are really slow, so be careful when you're using them, especially on the finishing attacks. Alright, against the second base, I'm going to show you another way I've learned to deal with super dragons without having to take out their posts this time. So, once again, we're working into the base. I noticed that these buildings over here are really grouped together really closely, so I figure I can bring a couple of rocket balloons and they'll splash through all of these defenses, and that can save me on troop space with archers. It's also kind of annoying to reach this back wizard tower in air defense with my archers, so taking those out and just clearing the flanks, I thought would be worth the 2 rocket ones. Now, once again, you want to think about where you want to spend your rages. This area has a lot of high HP with all of these defenses, the 3 super dragons and the blast bow, so I decided I can just spend both of my rages in this area. As long as I can take it all out, it'll be worth it. So we'll just work our way through into the base with our archers. And now, I'm about to show you the other way I've realized you can deal with super dragons. So this first one, I just do it like usual. I take out the post and then drop in a couple of camps of archers. I actually messed up. I dropped in that ram too late. I don't hit Dragon Cliffs too often, and so I try to use the ram to tank for the super dragon once the archers came out of their stealth, but unfortunately I was like a split second too late. I don't hit Dragon Cliffs too often, and so or I don't use archers too often, so I'm not really good with their timings just yet. Now you can notice the super dragon is out, and so I drop 2 camps of archers and then 1 ram at an angle. Make sure that the super dragon doesn't splash onto whatever troop you're using to hold it in place, because if you're going to go for the super dragon while it's out in the open but the super dragon post isn't gone yet, you have to make sure that you hold it in place so that the archers aren't chasing it around and having a hard time shooting it. So this super dragon is out. I drop 2 camps of super dragons, then 1 barbarian to make to make sure the archers don't have to walk around. That's another way you can deal with them. If you have a hard time getting to their post, that could be an effective way to deal with them as well. Now at this point, we're just figuring out where to drop our last archers and setting up for our last attack. So on this last attack, we can just take out these 2 Inferno Towers as well as the last super dragon with a couple of archers, and then we can just finish up with our hogs with 1 heal. There's a couple of bomb towers and a couple of wizard towers, but it's not too bad for our hog riders. There's not much point defenses left in the base, and so with our hog riders stun ability, we're going to be able to basically stun most of the defenses left on the base that can even attack them. So we're not going to have too many issues. Just drop our heals where I think we will need them, and sprinkle in our hogs so they don't all get splashed at the same time, and it's just a matter of cleanup at this point. And so those are the main ways that I've figured out how to deal with defensive super dragons on this super annoying base. You can either take out their posts and attack them while they're not moving, or while they're outside and they're close to an area where you can spawn archers, you can just spawn archers there and focus them down, and then you can just use a barbarian or a ram. Make sure that the super dragon doesn't splash the barbarian and hit the archers. You can use those barbarians and rams at an angle so that you can hold the super dragon in place. Now that'll be all for today. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and take care.